So Ruby, I know that you do a lot of research on historical data. Now, this is set in the 1930s, so how long did it take you to research for this book, and what is the process as a writer? How did you go about writing this book?
I didn't set out to research it in a sort of lump before I wrote it. I was obviously reading around about Arundel in the 1930s, and I think I've got quite a good sort of background about what the 1930s were like. But when I was writing the book, when I was writing any of the scenes, I was paying attention to things like smell, because maybe we've got quite a few senses. Maybe things like smell are very evocative. Maybe they would have been different smells in the 1930s. That's one thing. Sounds. What sort of. I was thinking about all the different senses and language. When I was writing the dialogue, I tried to look up words or check slang. There's quite a few sites that you can do about 1930s, and obviously I would be looking about 1930s English slang, but I'm well aware that those people and my characters in the film actually do go to the cinema and watch films, so even a bit of American slang, they might have picked that up. I tried to pay attention to all the details. Even I think Edith even gets her suspenders, on her stockings in a twist in some places, because she wouldn't be wearing tights. You've got to think of all these different things about how the characters are different than they are now.
Now, characterization is obviously a big part of any novel.
Yeah.
So did you write a character profile or a profile for all of your characters, or did the characters come to life organically?
I think the answer to that is both. Because I'm not a writer that would like to just start at page 1 and just see where it leads to. I'm somebody that does plot it out on paper, and it's really important to me to have structure and have some sort of characterization. However, I do think that the thing that I liked most about my own book, the thing I enjoyed writing most and I am most proud about, is that I've left those characters space so that I might have started off with a profile of them or a rough profile of them, but at some point they just took over and did whatever they wanted. It is obviously within a structured plot, but I mean, it was a discovery for me. I was sometimes just totally gobsmacked. I don't think that my protagonist, Edith, for example, that she is always the nicest person either, or the most lovely person. I think maybe you can start off with a character, if it's your protagonist, maybe you're wanting that protagonist to be likable and lovable and wonderful, but people have flaws, and people do things that maybe we don't all agree with. I think it's just important that it should be believable. She's not me, and what she does, I don't agree with all of it. She did what she wanted, but for me the only thing that's important is that she's believable.
Now, a book cover is so important because it really does attract the potential reader to the novel. So I love this this cover. So where did you get the idea from and who did it?
My brother was the person that did the cover. I got on very well with my brother, who's an architect, a graphic artist, an artist, and we were able to sit down and say exactly what I wanted. We went round and looked at books in that sort of genre in other bookshops, which gave us a lot of ideas. But I mean, I have to say it's really my brother that worked out all details, and he's very gifted.
Now, as if one book is not enough, I know you're working on the sequel. So tell me about that. How's it going?
Right, well, this one, Murder in Arundel, is very much the first book in a series. So the way that the book ends, I hope that I've developed the characters and the setup of the characters enough that people would like to find out, you know, what's going to happen to them. It's all left up in the air. The plot is resolved, but the characters left up in the air at the end. And here's the next book, which is Murder in Arundel 2, and it is Edith in Cuffs. And if you see that, well, poor Edith. Edith is a psychic detective. She can't tell her husband she's psychic, but here in the second book, she unhappily phones the police to report a murder, and it turns out it's before it's actually happened. So there is so we can see that she's going to have a big problem.
Where can people buy this book if they want to have a look?
Well, if you're living in Salisbury, I would recommend Rocket Ship Bookshop, which is next to Wetherspoons, or the History Bookshop, which is in Fisherton Mill. But actually, you can buy this book in any reputable bookshop, so you can get it from Waterstones, you can buy it online, Amazon or Waterstones online, or Barnes and Noble, anywhere really. There you go. But do buy it from an independent bookshop if you can.